what you love and lose weight with Chef Pachi.
Pork leg. Today I'm going to show you a how-to step-by-step video on how to make the perfect leg of pork. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the skin through. And it doesn't matter if you cut a little bit within the meat. Sometimes people think you shouldn't, but it doesn't matter because this is a very fatty meat and it will just add more flavor to it. Do not worry. Go through, slice all of your skin almost to the meat because you want to make delicious cracklings. Now we're going to make a special seasoning, and we have our diced fresh pineapple or canned pineapple in juice if you don't have any fresh pineapple. We add our seasonings. We have allspice, pepper, and we are going to blend this. Once we make this amazing seasoning, we are ready to go. It is super easy to make. Actually, if your leg of pork is 10 pounds or less, you can make it and have it ready the same day. It's not going to take more than 2 or 3 hours baking, and you'll have the best leg of pork ever with cracklings. Delicious. So I'm going to show you the secret in a little while. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of garlic that I have processed and frozen so that these days that are the holidays, I do not have to get my hands all dirty and I can make my leg of pork in minutes and be with all my family at the same time. Same thing with the cilantro and the shallots. I had already cut my shallots and cut my cilantro, placed them in ice cube trays and frozen them with nothing else. No oil, no water, nothing. Last but not least, 4 to 6 tablespoons of ginger. And this part is essential for my secret. This is what makes our cracklings crackle. No matter how much you add, you have to add no baking soda or other things. Ginger will make it perfect and delicious. So we left the ginger on the side, and you're gonna see why. Now let's spread all of this pineapple and spice seasoning everywhere throughout all our cuts so that it goes down within the meat and seasons the meat. This is why it doesn't matter if you cut through too deep. There is no problem whatsoever in my recipe because this pineapple is going to moisten our leg. It's not going to dry it out. So check this out. We are going to season the front, the sides, and the back because we want all of our leg to be delicious, perfect, moist, and everyone's going to eat from everywhere of your leg. So you want it all to be perfectly seasoned. Check this out. Now I'm taking almost all of the rub off the top of the skin. So it's going to be within the cuts and around, directly on the meat as much as possible. There are 2 ways of adding the ginger. If you have it frozen, you can do what I did, and I add the frozen parts in all of the cuts. You see that I check that all of the cuts are deep enough so that ginger fits. If your ginger is fresh, all you have to do is spread it out and make sure it falls within these cuts, just like this. It's not going to stand up because it's going to be processed and it's not going to be frozen, but this one works perfect. And then at the end, you're going to add a lot of salt, and we're using coarse salt. This is another secret for my pork leg. Our leg of pork goes onto the oven at 400 degrees, and we want this because we want our skin to be crackling and very, very crispy. Now we're gonna make some beautiful pineapple to go on the side because we want everyone to know this is a pineappled pork. And now we're gonna add some brown sugar to a baking pan. My baking pan is non-stick, but it actually doesn't matter. If yours sticks, you can do two things. Cover it with foil, or don't worry, after it all comes out from the oven sticky, just leave it in water and it'll all come out the next day. So we spread all this sugar and the allspice, a tiny bit of salt, because every time we use sugar, we need to add a little bit of salt so that all of the flavors are umami, like I'd say. They all come up amazingly bright and delicious. We put a can of pineapple on top of the sugar and the allspice and then sprinkle it with a little bit of rice vinegar. This is gonna make our sweet and sour, delicious pineapple. Now we bake the pineapple only for 10 minutes. That's enough. All we wanna do is brown that sugar and we're ready to go with the pineapple. Set it on the side until your leg of pork is done. Now in the center of each pineapple slice, we're gonna add some pickled ginger. And this is also gonna give it a delicious flavor. It brings out the rest of the flavors from the leg and the pineapple mixture. After 2 hours have passed, you put your thermometer and make sure it's at 150 degrees. If it's 160, it's done. Then bring it out and enjoy this amazing crackling. Here we come. Your leg of pork is out. And we're adding some red wine to the bottom of our pan because we want to remove all the delicious flavors that have fallen down. You see that on top of the leg, we have some dark pieces. Those you can just brush off and nothing will happen because that is just a little bit of the burnt ginger on top of it. It doesn't matter, it'll come off perfectly. Look at this. Now we're gonna softly scrape up the bits and pieces off our baking pan so that we can create a delicious sauce. We pass it through a sieve. First a large sieve so the big pieces stay behind. And then we have our delicious red wine and spice sauce for our leg of pork. We are just about to get to the perfect place. Check this out. Now we're gonna add the pineapple to the sides of the pork and we're gonna place it with toothpicks. And it's gonna be beautiful. On top, I haven't removed any of the ginger, basically because I'm in a hurry, but you can see some of the pieces have the ginger been brushed off. So you can brush off all that ginger so it doesn't look so dark. You don't have to. It's just a matter of preference. And look on the right side. Our sauce is ready to be drizzled on top. We're gonna drizzle it to the bottom so it keeps our bottom all moist. Not on the top because the top is crackling and we don't want it to get moist. Here we go. Perfect. We have an amazing leg of pork. It's delicious, it's perfect, crisp, and everyone can have a little piece of crackling. It's scrumptious, moist, and delicious.
scroll down for the recipe. You can print it. Subscribe and turn on the bell for recipe updates.